I have been told to explain how to play Livingston. I don't fully know all the timings if we're not like jamming it in person. But that's my roommate. But once you're actually there jamming it, you'll get it down quick. It's not that bad. It's just like right now I can't really think about that clearly. So it starts with this intro riff, which really the thing with this song is none of it is very technically difficult, but it's the timing that's really important, especially on bass, because if you're off at the timing, it makes it sound really muddy, but if you're on point, then it can sound really crisp. So the intro riff goes like this. Up to speed, it's maybe a little faster, but just the same. The riff starts with the open E string going, hammer on to the 3rd fret, hammer on to the 5th on the A string, and then play the 5th fret on the E string. And then you want to go take this little lick here that is repeated twice in the intro riff. You go, so it's and then so that's the 5th fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret, and then 5th fret, 6th fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret. So it's all together it goes. And then you want to go back into the that kind of open E twice thing again, and then you do the same. So it goes like this. But instead of doing that lick, you go. So you just kind of hit the same notes, but you're cutting it shorter. So you're going 5th fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret, 6th fret, 3rd fret. It's like this. All together, up to this point, it should sound like. Maybe if you can, play some, fucking bend that note a little bit. And then you want to play that first riff again for the 3rd one, so the first 3 bars should sound like. And then this is when it mixes up the most. Instead of, this is how every 4th time you play it. Instead of doing the open E thing again, you go. So you just go 3rd fret, hammer on to 5th fret, and then 5th fret, hammer on or pull off to 3rd, and then you do this little minor scale run where you go 5th, 6th, 7, 3, 4, 5 on E and A strings respectively. So then all together it should sound like this. So the song starts off with you playing that with one other guitar thing. I think you play it twice, although you can confirm that with Owen and all those guys. So the intro should sound like. And then the next part, you just play the open E string, and then you kind of like hold it for a bit, and then you go. You're just doing that same blues minor thing I was talking about. The 5, 6, 7. And then for one of them, I don't remember which one it is exactly. I don't have any way to get the structure of the sound other than just remembering it from the last gig that we played, and that didn't exactly go swimmingly. So the next part you go, this is the verse riff. And then there's a little fill thing you can do there. But the hard part of that riff right there, you can actually really just kind of improv it as long as you're hitting the important notes. The important part of that riff there is the timing when you're going. But if you can you'll get the timing down just from playing with the guys. But you're doing open E, and then open E, hammer onto the 3rd fret, and then do a little bit of whatever before everyone comes back together with a. So you do 3rd fret, pull off, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. So. And then from there, this is what I usually play on the bass. You want to go open E twice, and then you want to play the 5th fret A string. Then open A, and 7th fret D string, and then you want to play open D, and then 5th fret D string, 3rd fret D string. Up the speed to sound like. And then you can either play 5th fret, 3rd fret on the A string, or you can go open D, 3rd fret. It's the same notes, doesn't matter, but just the same. You want to go. You want to play that C note right there. And then from there, you can either choose the more like epic bass kind of approach, which kind of might sound muddy depending on how well you play it. I don't like using it all the time. I usually play it every like 4th thing or every other repetition of the riff. But what I usually do is I go. That is just 5th fret G string, 3rd fret G string, 5th fret D string, and then 3rd fret G string again, 5th fret D string, 3rd fret D string, 2nd fret D string. And that kind of cleanly gets you back to where you need to be to play the open E again, because in your drop tuning, those are the same note. So altogether, if you do the more complicated version, it should sound like this. And then you can see what I mean about the timing. The important part of that riff is getting that timing down. If you don't want to do the whole, I also like to do this instead, where I'll go. So what that's just doing is you go, which is just the 3rd fret A string, and then the 4th fret A string. So just kind of walking up to the D note there, which kind of, just like the other one, sets you up nicely to play the open E again. What's after that? So after that, there's the pre-chorus, after you do the verse a couple of times. And the pre-chorus is a little tricky because it's very fast. There's two different ways you can play it. You can play it like up here. Since I'm playing on my acoustic right now and I don't have much room up here, I'm gonna play it using the E and A string. But if you have a longer scale bass, it might be nicer just to play it on the A string. So you want to go. So it's E, E, 5, 3, E. Or if you're playing it up here, you can go E, E, 12, 10, E. So up to speed, it's like. So you play the little. After you play it's a little bit faster. So you go. Notice how instead of it's. That's the important distinction, just because you want to be up to speed. And then the next part of it, you want to go. So that is if you're using the A string, that is 8th and 7th frets. So. If you're playing up here, that'd be the 13th. I think no, it's way off. 12th. That'd be 15th and 14th frets. So. And lastly, you just do open E. So that's open E, 3rd fret, hammer on the 5th. Then you can bend it. I don't think the guys actually bend it. I usually do, which might actually go out of tuning, but I like doing it. It's fun. So all together, it's just like. Then from there, you go back to the verse, which is the same thing, or from there you go back to the chorus, excuse me, which is the same thing as the intro rip. So that's just back to the. You get the picture. After that, you go back to the verse with the whole. And then I believe after the 3rd chorus or the 2nd, I think for the extra structure of the song, you should check with the guys. I can teach you the rips, but I don't really remember the structure that well. Eventually, there's a bridge segment in which you'll go like this. And this is the part where your timing is really important, and I would recommend muting the notes after you play them. Like, fuck, bad example. With your fretting hand. So just kind of having it graze the strings to mute it. And then on the last one, instead of just going, again, you go. Eventually you play that chorus riff again, and then to end the song there's another part where you kind of go and do that bridge riff again, where you're going. But then eventually on one of them it goes. And that's how you end the song. So for that, you're just playing that same, but you're also playing the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st frets on the A string. And there's two different kind of ways you can do that, because at the end of it, you're doing it at the end of every like repetition. So you're going. So at first what I did was I kept the A sharp note, that 1st fret, ringing while I did the. But I found that got to be really muddy. But I would check with Raph and with Owen what they think you guys should do. I just kind of took that matter in my own hands when we played live, where I didn't keep that going, because even though it's more of like a bass thing to do, it sounded kind of like weird when we played it live. So like if you don't mute it, it's like, notice how there's like that dissonance. Play it too in there. Sometimes dissonance can be good, but I think in that case it just kind of gets to be a little too much. And that should be all of the song. I think the important parts to practice are the intro riff, because that's like the most recognizable part, right? This whole thing with the, in terms of the timing, it can be a little tricky. I know it was for me at first, before like we jammed it a whole lot, as well as the verse riff, because I guess that's the most technical part of the song. The whole but once you run through it a couple of times, it's not that bad. You'll get the hang of it, and you don't need to do what I did either, because the chord progression is playing the D, and then the A, and then there's like a little, Owen does like a little riff, so that's what I'm trying to emulate when I do that. I'm like, when he does that, I'm trying to go to emulate it, and then it goes that C note before going back to the D. So, I mean, you could just go like, and then like, if you really wanted to. I think it's a little more fun for the bassist, and I think it kind of has a nice groove to it, to have the whole whatever the fuck. But yeah, I would I don't know, I would do a little more, just because that's the kind of bassist that I am. But if you feel like it would suit the song better to play less, I would recommend doing something like I just kind of played there. So good luck with playing this live and stuff, and I would recommend consulting Raph or Owen if you have any like timing or structure questions, because I can't really help you with that, because I hardly knew that shit when I was there, and I'm not there, and I don't remember how it goes. So best of luck.